Chris, you ready to go for a ride?
Track mode start.
Oh, it's angry.
On a Formula One track, this has to be the coolest day at work I've ever had in my life.
This ZR1 pushes Corvette engineering further than it's ever gone before. And we're here at Circuit of the Americas to test it out. This baby makes 1,064 horsepower, 828 foot-pounds, sends it to the rear wheels. It does 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, quarter mile in the 9s, and a top speed of 233 miles an hour. I've never ridden in a car this fast, but we're about to change that, and that's pretty cool. The Corvette ZR1 project was a huge undertaking, and it took years to get it where it is today. The Corvette ZR1 story begins in 1970 with a little-known model that was basically a race car engine in a road-going Corvette. But the real ZR1 history begins in 1990 with the C4. With 375 horsepower, it was the most powerful Corvette they'd ever made. The C6 generation blasted past that with 640 horsepower, and then the C7 took it even further with 755 horsepower. So when they made this ZR1, they knew they had to go all out with 1,064 amazing horses. When Corvette engineers began building this engine, they had one goal in mind: make the most horsepower possible in a street-legal, reliable engine. This LT7 twin-turbo V8 shares its architecture with the LT6 in the Corvette Z06, but it's a completely different animal. This is a flat plane crank, 5.5-liter twin-turbo V8. So from the minute that the C8 came out as a mid-engine Corvette, all the superfans knew this is what was coming. This mid-engine layout gave all that room for that super wide twin-turbo engine. It also made sure that this thing could put down that 1,064 horsepower to the rear wheels and get traction for that 2.3 second 0 to 60 launch. The Corvette ZR1 has a top speed of 233 miles an hour, and that's not just a theoretical number. Corvette took this car to Germany and put GM president Mark Reuss behind the wheel, and he drove this thing 233 miles an hour. GM had to engineer a super complex anti-lag system to make sure that whenever you accelerate, that turbo boost is right there ready for you. This car has the high downforce ZTK package, which gives it up to 1,200 pounds of downforce at top speed. The whole story starts with this hole in the front trunk. That hole isn't just there for aerodynamics. There's 2 intercoolers up there to help generate a frunk load of horsepower. That front airflow allowed the engineers to put this enormous rear wing on this thing. Some of the other features you'll notice, we've got the carbon fiber dive planes, carbon fiber side sills, and we've got the carbon fiber brake duct back here to cool the rear brakes. You can tell just by looking at this thing, it was built to dominate the racetrack. So this is a really cool Easter egg. These engines are called the Gemini twins, and there are little rocket symbols all over the engine. They actually serve a purpose. They're there to tell the person hand assembling the engine which way these parts go. Every ZR1 comes standard with carbon ceramic brakes. This is a 15.7-inch front rotor with a 6-piston caliper because Corvette engineers knew these things are going to get out on the racetrack. The ZTK package also gives you the Cup 2R tire, a very aggressive tire for the track. This baby's got everything. We've got beautiful contrast stitch seating. My drive mode button is down here to cycle through the drive modes. And I've got the Z mode button. This is on every C8 Corvette. This is how you activate your custom drive mode for your exhaust sound, your suspension settings, and your performance settings. I also have a button to lift the nose so I don't scrape that beautiful carbon fiber front spoiler on a low driveway. This is the convertible, which means this button right here opens the power hardtop and folds it into the trunk. This car also has carbon fiber bucket seats with cutouts for your racing harnesses in case you want to go to the racetrack. And you should. And we did. You can tell this is serious because we got the full helmet and the Hans on. This is a real racetrack, and this is pretty much a real race car that you can drive on the street. Now, I'm not gonna be driving because I don't have the skills for a vehicle like this, but I'm gonna be riding with one of the engineers who made this thing what it is. Chris, you ready to go for a ride? Hell yeah.
And the track mode start.
All right, good to go. There we go. Yeah. Oh, it's angry.
Corvette ZR1 on a Formula One track, circuit of the Americas. This has to be the coolest day at work I've ever had in my life. Oh man, already! Even climbing up that hill you feel the horsepower.
Okay, so as you can see, the car is pretty loud when you're going fast on track. So I'm gonna give you my impressions via voiceover. So the first thing you notice about the ZR1 is it attacks the curves. It's got so much traction, basically pulled my eyes out of their sockets around the corners. And then every time the track straightens out, this thing is a monster with acceleration. You truly feel the 1,064 horsepower. It throws you back in the seat. That Magna-Ride suspension eats up the curbing. You can see Chris is not afraid to put this thing up on the curbs and it just swallows it.
This thing just eats up the curbing. Ooh, a little oversteer.
Something you might not get from this video, we had the air conditioning set to like 60 degrees. It was hot at COTA this day. Chris was telling me this is one of the things that Corvette engineers really focus on. They want to make sure that you can drive this car on track no matter what the temperature, no matter where you're going, in total comfort. This thing is the total package. It accelerates brutally. It stops instantly. It takes a curve like it's on rails. Truly, every lap that we took on COTA was jaw-dropping. One of the craziest things about these laps with Chris was that he wasn't really working that hard. Like, it's amazing that a car with so much power is so easy to drive this fast on this technical track. Chris was having fun. He was throwing it into the corners. We got a little bit of oversteer there in a couple corners. We were drifting a little bit, which was amazing. The braking is what really shocked me, because this car accelerates fast, but it brakes and throws you in the seatbelt, and it's like the seatbelt is tearing at your chest. And then there's the sound of the thing. This LT7 engine makes such a ridiculous sound at full throttle. You can hear it just sucking in gallons and gallons of air. It sounds like nothing else I've ever ridden.
It's just a blast to drive.
Well, and from the passenger seat, I could tell you were not holding back out there. You were giving it everything.
Yeah, I was trying to put on a good show.
I appreciate that, because I know I could not get that kind of lap out of a car like this, even if I spent a month practicing. And that's the difference of having the developing engineer on the driving side. Oh, buddy. Experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. That was truly amazing. I can't believe what I just experienced. That was life-changing. In 2 lifetimes, I could never get this car as fast as Chris just did. But he's the lead developing engineer, so he knows exactly what he's doing. That was amazing.
Cool.
Hey, thank you again, man. Appreciate that. Whew. So this was an amazing day. I got to ride around in a Corvette at COTA, and we got to show you all the cool features of this 2025 ZR1. Check out our GM channel for more car reviews, and me, Bob.